أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. لا أقسم بيوم القيامة ولا أقسم بالنفس اللوامة. أيحسب الإنسان أن لن نجمع عظامه. بلى قادرين على أن نسوي بنانه. بل يريد الإنسان ليفجر أمامه. يسأل أيان يوم القيامة. فإذا برق البصر وخسف القمر وجمع الشمس والقمر يقول الإنسان يومئذ أين المفر. كلا لا وزر إلى ربك يومئذ المستقر. ينبأ الإنسان يومئذ بما قدم وأخر. بل الإنسان على نفسه بصيرة ولو ألقى معاذيره. لا تحرك به لسانك لتعجل به. إن علينا جمعه وقرآنه. فإذا قرأناه فاتبع قرآنه ثم إن علينا بيانه. لا إله إلا الله والله أكبر ولله الحمد. آمنت بالله صدق الله العظيم.
Jazakallah Syed Muhammad Ali bin Aziz Saab. Thank you so much for the wonderful recitation of Holy Quran. Auzu billahi minash shaitanir rajeem. Bismillahir rahmanir rahim. Rabbi shrah li sadri wa yassir li amri wahlul uqdatam bil lisani yafqahu qawli. Allahumma ajirni minan nar, Allahumma inni as'aluka al-jannah. Assalamu alaikum, ladies and gentlemen, and a very warm welcome to the Ramzan Pakistan Iftar transmission. I happen to be Shahzad Hassan Khan, and with me, I'm really lucky that I've been joined by my very new colleague over here in Pakistan television, and she happens to be Ms. Natalia Bakr. Hello Natalia, assalamu alaikum. How are you feeling today?
Walaikum assalam, Shahzad. I'm doing absolutely great. I'm feeling very, very great and excited. And I see that you're feeling great and excited too.
Exactly. Obviously, I am excited, for, young budding children coming up, and taking these positions is great, because we certainly want the world to know that we have the best education system over here as well, and the product that we are producing, alhamdulillah, is nothing short of a marvel or a miracle as well. But while we are at it, while we are at this conjunction, I think for people who are out there, there's always room for improvement. And when we speak about room for improvement, imagine if I go back to the time where I was studying in my school, I think in comparison to what my children are doing today, I would want to be in their school. So I would want to go back in time and be like, hey, you know what, I need to come back to school again, because schools are becoming more interesting. And education, ladies and gentlemen, plays a vital role in any nation's development. If you are to speak about it, unfortunate to see how there are children, who are out of school as well, and does not get the equal opportunity of the quality education that we get in today's time. So what are we supposed to do? I think what we are supposed to do is that for countries or for nations who have actually done it marvelously well, that we learn from them how have they done it for their people, and how has it contributed for the well-being of their nation or the prosperity of their nation. And to speak about it, or to speak about the miracle or the marvel of the Finnish education system, we're very lucky that we've been joined by the Ambassador of Finland to Pakistan. He happens to be His Excellency Mr. Hannu. Ripatti, Assalamu alaikum, Ramzan Mubarak, and thank you so much for joining us. Wonderful to have you, Your Excellency. Yes. Wonderful. Thank you so much for joining us. How does it feel to be on Pakistan television today?
Well, we are all waiting for the Eid and, of course, a very long weekend. So things couldn't be better.
I think that's wonderful as well. And in addition to this, obviously, because tonight it's going to be the night of decree, the night which is going to be better than, 1,000 months, ladies and gentlemen. We have been speaking about it. We have been trying to make sure that we build that bridge where people actually kind of learn about the science and what we are supposed to do. So the night of decree, Qadr, Laylatul Qadr, ladies and gentlemen, to speak about it, we're very lucky that we have been joined by the Chief Executive Officer of Tartil Quran, and he happens to be Mr. Sanaullah. Kiani, Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuhu.
Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, Sana Sahab, for being with us. Lovely to be in conversation with you. But Your Excellency, thank you so much for taking our time. And since we are to kind of explore the miracle of the, Finnish education system, let's get started from the very foundation of it, because it was shocking for me to kind of learn that the education system, even may it be high school or may it be university, education is free, the meals are free, and the transport is actually subsidized.
It is, yes. To start from the beginning is basically a thing of, we're talking about the future of any country when we're talking about education. Without an educated and capacitated in the form that they know what they're doing. So if you don't have that kind of people, my country, which has 5.5 million people, we wouldn't survive. So you're talking about a country that has a whole lot of natural resources that they can sell cheaply, perhaps. We have a whole lot of forests. They have to be cut down in those parts where it'll be changed into paper or something. We need technicians. We need engineers. For those people who are working there, we need healthcare. All of those people, I mean, we speak Finnish in Finland, so you can't just get somebody from somewhere, because learning our language is not so simple. And coming back to the languages, that was one of the reasons that we started. We were first the Grand Duchy within the Swedish Kingdom, and then in the Russian Empire. During the Napoleonic Wars, we were transferred under the Tsars of Russia. And to be able to get the majority of the people getting to the higher positions and stay. So they started with free elementary schools. First it was 4 years, then it was 6 years. And from then onwards, they also got into, because in the countryside, it was a question of, but we need these people to till the fields.
True.
I mean, the children were working. So we started with free school meals.
Okay.
And from there onwards was like, nowadays you think that 6 years of education, which then was thought to be good, nowadays it's not enough. Nowadays, in Finland, you have to do 12 years.
Okay.
After that, you might be going either, even before that, you can go to a vocational school. You can go to one of these that in Germany would be called Fachhochschule. So you go to these universities that we call applied sciences,
All right.
Okay.
Yep.
which have basic, a bachelor's degree in engineering or a master's. Or you go to the what we call scientific universities, where you can also become a lawyer, a doctor, but also you can study engineering to a higher degree so that you can even get a PhD or similar.
Exactly, and I'll come back to this as well. But sir, there's one thing which is very interesting, and that is that there's no standardized testing. Now imagine till high school, no child will be appearing in any sort of exams. And how do you think that meritocracy is being ensured by their child? Because obviously this education system is very inclusive, talks about anybody can be a part of it, because the most interesting bit was, for example, if I couldn't really go to school, may it be any reason, or I thought that, okay, I'm not interested in studying, and I went to your vocational training center, probably became a mechanic.
Yes.
And now I think, hey, you know what, I really need to do better in my life. Do you think that there are more options for me in Finland rather than Pakistan then?
Well, yes, because here you need a whole lot of money to be able to do that thing. In Finland, if you go to vocational institutes to train yourself like a mechanic or
Yep.
something, so you can at the same time take a high school diploma,
Okay.
which gives you the right to go to the entrance exams of the universities. Or even if you don't, so you can still apply for an engineering degree at one of the universities of applied sciences.
Okay.
And after you've got your bachelor's, you can apply to go to the scientifics and then get your
Wow.
your PhDs or similars. The most important kind of idea that we have is that, as I said, we are 5.5 million people. We can't lose a single person. So whether it is because they have some kind of a handicap, so then they'll be helped to study, or if they have as many people, I mean, most of the people who would be watching this would have had this moment at school where they think, oh, chuck it, I don't like this at all. I had it when I was a kid. So then there's the kind of thing that some people actually think that, all right, I'll chuck it and I'll go to study to be a mechanic, for
Yeah.
example. Or then you just kind of find your own place in the school and you go on. So is that person who goes to the mechanics trade, is he worse than you? Very often at school they have been done well until they chuck everything.
Yeah.
So how can we lose that talent?
Exactly. Thank you so much for saying that. It actually kind of, raises a lot of concerns for me as well, for people who are actually out of school. Now imagine that we over here, unfortunately that I have to draw this comparison, but we over here, if we didn't go to high school, there's no chance that we can get into university.
Yep.
There's no chance that we can get into a diploma. There's no chance that we can have a change of career. But for Finnish schools, I think that's why we call it the Marvel education system as well, because they actually are welcoming everybody. Hey, you want to change your life? We've got
You
a
can.
solution for you. You want to change your profession? We've got a solution for you too as well. And thank you so much for kind of letting us know that how important human resource is to the Finnish government itself. Because with 5.5 million people, obviously the government's actually looking after everyone. But is it more like a demand supply sort of an education system that, hey, you know what, we might need these many engineers probably till the end of this year, we might need these many doctors, or is it more like that we're welcoming people from other countries as well?
Well, the first part, they tried it. But I mean, development is going along faster and faster. So if you make a decision today, by the time they have changed the amount of starting places at universities, and then you get a bachelor's, let's say 5 to 6 years, there's already something new on offer. So you have to work a bit on this kind of supply and demand. How much can you supply and what is the demand?
True.
Now, of course, you will make certain tweaks in the program so that we'll get enough, let's say, engineers, we get enough doctors, so that there are certain kind of pull, hooks and pulls that will make people want to study those things. On the cases of doctors, it's of course more difficult because it's very expensive to train even a single one. So they try to make it, they try to be sure that these persons who enter will go through the training and become doctors.
Yeah.
So there is also this kind of a support that once you're roped in, so that you can go through the whole thing that we will not have dropouts.
So is there a testing system for that? You know, how do we gauge that whether, you know, this gentleman who's actually going to enter medicine school will eventually make it 4 years later, you know, be a doctor?
We have entrance examinations for those things. How would I describe this? The whole idea of getting people interested in going to university or to technical courses is to give them information already at school.
True.
Okay.
So for example, in my case, I became interested in history already at school. So I studied history and political sciences. And I only later found out that the other thing which I was interested in, which was working around the world, those were the things that you needed for the entrance examination of the foreign ministry. So you have this kind of a thing that they found out, this guy is going to be there. So they're pulling you in these kinds of things. On the other part, for foreigners, now, if you are resident in Finland, being at a school does not cost you anything. But universities, if you're not residents, will cost you.
Okay.
Now, we're not talking about prices as in the United States, but yes, if you come from outside the European Union,
You'll have to pay.
so there are there are fees, and then there are certain other things that you have to pay. But on the other hand, there is the possibility of getting grants for those.
Okay.
And this interesting thing there is, which most people don't understand, we don't have this system of kind of giving grants abroad. But if you can get into Finland, you can apply for grants within Finland as anybody who is a student in Finland.
Wow.
Okay. So,
But you have to be good.
wonderful.
Obviously.
Sir, since we're talking about education, so education is the first home of education is your home, your mother, your
mother's
father,
lap.
your
Yeah.
parents of a child. Do you think parenting plays an important role in building a very nice education system which can actually be fruitful in future?
We hope so, definitely. But I mean, there is no law where we can say to the parents that you have to be good parents. So there it's more a question of trying to pull because you can't push. So what there is that the public service side tries to fix those things that they can, which is basically that schooling doesn't cost, universities, I think that in Harvard you pay like $8,000 a term or something like that.
That's
and there
it.
are 3 terms in a year, so it's quite a lot of money. And then there is housing and the rest. Now in Finland, if I remember correctly, you have to pay in total per year something like a bit less than €200.
That's it?
And that's it for people who are citizens of
Finland.
or permanent residents
Yep.
of Finland or the EU
Okay.
or the European Economic
And
Space.
what about international students?
That I can't remember, but there is a very good page if you want to look at. That's Study in Finland. You just Google that, and there is a web page tells
I
you
Googled that.
everything.
And you know, for the prerequisites, you know, for people to get them interested as well, do we, you know, for example, if I'm an international student and if I'm applying for a Finland university or Finnish university, are there any prerequisites of that I need to know the Finnish language itself? Or
No, we also have, I mean, bachelor's degrees, most of them are in Finnish or in Swedish. We have a minority there, but on postgraduate studies, there are quite a lot of things which are in English.
exactly.
Okay.
I studied in Finnish at the University of Helsinki, but most of the latter part of my studies, when you start doing your master's thesis, most of the literature I had to do was in English. I even had something in German, and I had
Was it
German at
difficult?
school, and I had some difficulty.
Was it difficult for you?
I mean, the German part was. I mean, I studied German at school for 5 years,
Okay.
and you get this kind of enough that you can read and do a couple of other things. But I mean, for me, it was the third language.
Yeah. Wow. I think it's great. And you know, probably I think for people who actually are interested in learning languages, I do know for a fact that they're certainly sharp. But you know, with this, your excellency, there's one more thing which I would want to kind of speak about. Obviously, the Finnish education system is something that the world needs to know about.
Yeah.
And you know, it was our, you know, we took advantage of the opportunity to speak about it. But since you're over here in Pakistan and it's Ramzan over here, so I would want to kind of touch base with the kind of cuisine that you would love from Pakistani cuisine or the Pakistani cuisine or culinary has to offer. So if I am to ask you, have you ever been on an Iftar dinner over here so
Yeah.
far this Ramadan? So have you liked the way that we, cook our, deep fry our confectionaries, pakoras or samosas or jalebis?
I have had a whole lot of them, but I think still the thing that I like most in this country is the basic dal.
The basic dal.
Because you have it in so many forms, so many kinds of, almost bland, so it's very good at you when your stomach isn't agreeing with you, to something which is like you put liquid fire in your mouth.
Yeah.
And that variety is actually my favorite. The rest, the samosas and the ones, yes, I like them, but I think dal would be
Dal
my
is better.
preference.
Well, so have you ever tried makhani dal?
I'm not sure.
So there's more butter in it.
Butter.
So there's butter,
I
there's
have
like
to
2
try
layers
that.
of butter.
You have?
You'll have to give me the name of that to ask for next time.
And what about the sweets? Have you tried any Pakistani sweets?
I have done, but don't ask me the names because I have a sweet tooth, so I don't ask the name, I just take it.
Oh,
So probably barfi or gulab
As you
jamun.
can notice,
jalebi probably.
It's perfectly okay, and I think we certainly want our, for people who are actually visiting Pakistan or are staying in Pakistan to feel as if they are Pakistanis too as well. But Your Excellency, before we actually bid you farewell as well, just one last question, and that is that where are we in the diplomatic front, may it be Pakistan or may it be Finland, and how are the brotherly relations?
They are good. They could be, how would I say, more profound.
Okay.
Our trade, because some of the economic problems you have had here, is not growing as fast as we would want. And there is more things that we can do about it. There is the green transformation where we have knowledge which might be used here. On the other fronts, you might know the spokesperson of the Foreign Ministry who used and still is the additional secretary for Europe. We used to talk about it and say that we should actually do more things together, and we both agreed on that. So we are on a good course.
So one of those things is that that you have a vocational training institute over here as well, which is actually working towards making sure that we have more skilled labor, that people learn a life skill.
Yes, that is the example of the municipalities have self-rule. So the city of Turku has a vocational institute which decided to have cooperation. They had done something with Pakistanis before, but they have started a cooperation with New Tech. And there is a hospitality course that is a mix of Pakistani and Finnish curriculum. And the students who come out from there, they usually say that they have better possibilities of getting postings, getting jobs, than the people who don't have them. Because as they say that those people who just go on without anything, they'll start with sweeping the floors. I was very happy to hear that the best student on one of these courses in October 22, when I gave them diplomas, he said he had been accepted as an assistant manager in a 5-star hotel in the Gulf. That's a big difference.
It is.
So we are very happy. We are a grain in salt because you have a big country, but the small things we can do to help.
And I think that's we are thankful for that as well. So thank you so much, and
Yes.
we do, for a fact, want that that we could contribute towards whatever the Finland government actually demands for Pakistan on the diplomatic front. But Your Excellency, thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you
It was
very much,
wonderful
sir.
to have you over here. So I have a lovely gift for you, and the gift is by Syed International PTV World. This is our holy book, Quran. And it's very
thank
close
you
to
very
us as
much.
well, and we would want you to kind of give it a read and learn more about our religion as well, which is the
that
most
I will
peaceful
do.
religion all over the world. Thank you so much for being
Thank
with
you
us.
very much.
Lovely to have you over here. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much.
Thank you. And yes, we do have, because you have a sweet tooth, so on behalf of Spring Foods, we're giving you kheer.
Okay.
It's more like milk and yogurt, and it's sweet.
Custard.
And then we are giving you Kashmiri chai, which is more like
I'll
referred
try
to.
that.
Yeah.
It's very good.
And all you need to do is just, probably, put
Boil
water
the
in the
water
kettle
and
and
then-
just mix the spoon.
I'll
That's
tell
it.
my wife.
Okay, well, that's great as well. So this will go
Thank you
with
very much.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Yes.
Yes.
All right. So thank you so much, Your Excellency, for being with us. And Spring Foods, thank you so much. Syed International, thank you so much. So the Holy Book's going to go with you. Thank you so much,
Thank
sir.
you.
Wonderful to have you over here.
Thank you very much.
Thank you so much.
Let me carry all of this.
I'll help you with this. Come. Please
Yes.
come. Natalia, please take over. Yes, exactly.
Let me get this off.
Yep. You got it right. Thank you so much. Please come.
Thank you very much,
Thank you
sir.
so much for joining us. Wonderful to have you over here. Please.
Well, that was an amazing conversation which we had with sir, and we got to know about the amazing country, Finland. It is one of the amazing countries, and one fact about Finland is that it is one of the happiest country. Do you know, Shahzad?
What?
That Finland is consistently marked as one of the happiest countries of the world.
Yeah, because obviously जहाँ पे 5.5 मतलब 55 लाख लोग हैं वहाँ
खुशी होगी और क्या
लोग खुश
होगा?
रहेंगे. But right now, ladies and gentlemen, while we're at it, I think I really need to introduce and probably go to my, the gift counter as
Gift
well.
counter,
And
yes.
we're very lucky that we've actually been joined by Isha. Hello, Isha. Assalamu alaikum. Too many gifts today.
Yeah, welcome, Sam, Sir Shahzad. And yes, we have a lot of exciting gifts today, which
Yeah.
is why we're so happy. Of course, we have a Quran Pak sponsored by Syed International.
Why do you have to
and-
look at it every day? even though we know by heart now, there's Servat International, there's Tartila Quran, there's Spring Food,
Foods.
there's
And then we have
cheesy.
cheeses. Yeah, I think we all
Yes.
love cheeses, and the kids coming today on the show are going to be so excited to receive some special
Isha,
gifts
what do you
from
have
cheeses.
for me?
Oh, I have, I mean, if we're allowed to, we can give you this.
I'm not going to allow this under my watch, so please, ladies and gentlemen, none of the gifts are going to go to any of the
Oh
team
my
members.
God, that's not
The
fair.
gifts are only for people who are our guests
Yes.
for Ramzan,
Of course.
Pakistan transmission as well. But with this, I think what we really need to talk about, Natalia, over here is that, that we were actually talking about how we really need to kind of make sure that we take advantage. But
Yeah.
before we take advantage, I think what we need to do is that we
Is
need
to
to,
announce our sponsors.
Yeah, we need to thank all our sponsors as well. So for our sponsors, ladies and gentlemen, first up is Syed International, there's Zakat Foundation, there's Tartile Quran, and yeah, they're going to be on your television screen. So Syed International, thank you so much. Tartile Quran, thank you so
very
much.
much.
Zakat Foundation, thank you so much. And cheeses, obviously we have the standee over there. We have a segment which will actually house almost 10 to 15 children, and they will be taking away cheesiest vouchers with them so they can order whatever they want. So we certainly want to thank all of our sponsors for making it a success. Thank you so much. But not just that,
very much.
I think we have another guest over here alongside Sanaullah Kiani Saab, and I would want you to introduce her.
Well, today in our studio is Sumaira Servat, who is a yoga instructor, and she is going to talk with us about yoga and health, and something very special and important I would like to mention, that Sumaira happens to be my mother, and we have invited her to talk on this beautiful topic of yoga, because yoga, you have people know that yoga is all about being eating less, cleansing your body,
Let your
purifying
mother
your body.
answer this. She's
Of
here for
course,
that.
sure. But I will have to give a big intro for
But
her.
Assalamu alaikum, ma'am. Thank you so much for joining us.
Walaikum
Wonderful
assalam.
to have you over here, and we do know for a fact how World Health Organization actually says that it's your mental, physical, social, and spiritual health. So we will certainly kind of unfold that conversation. But first things first, we'll move on to Sana Saab over here.
Yes,
So Sana Saab,
sure.
the night of Takhri, we have spoken about it, how this night is better than 1,000 months. Thank you so much. Alf Shahar. That's exactly what you mentioned, and not just that, because tonight is the night of the 27th Roza,
Yes.
right? Why is the night of the 27th referred to as Qadr, Laylatul Qadr? Please, first let's build up on that.
Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. Allahumma salli ala Muhammad. Yes, there is one hadith that says that the Prophet was asked about this night, that when it is happening, and the Prophet said there is different hadiths which are telling about it is in 27th, and there they said like in 29th and 25th as well, and the whole last Ashra as well. I was just going through an hadith that was a person came to Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, said, he said, I am weak, I cannot awake the whole night, all nights of the 10 last month. So can you point me if I can get that night? And Prophet said that this is 27th.
Okay.
So he just pointed for that as well.
So every year it's going to be 27th?
No, this is not like this is.
Yeah.
And the Prophet said perhaps you can get in this night.
Okay.
He said it with 27, but he said perhaps you can get it in this night.
Okay, but
so again, still there is ambiguity, and there is a hope for us, and there is a room for us to struggle for it.
Because Allah ko pata.
Yeah, this Allah knows the best.
So, sir, there might be some characteristics or signs of this particular night. What are those?
In
Can you explain
Hadith,
us?
there are different signs mentioned. So one sign is that this night will be very calm and cool. It will not be very hot and not cold. And it is also mentioned in one hadith that this night will be very bright, and it will be like there is a moon of 14th day. so it will be very bright. This is another sign. And there is one, these are the atmospheric signs. So where we can find that if this is that night. So we can look for these signs on all last 10 nights. We should go for all the, and also there is one more sign that the morning of this night will be, the sun will come out and it will rise without rays. So this is a more prominent sign. So you can go for these signs, but don't just
miss the night and then, you know,
yes,
Exactly. I
sit and
think
see.
there's another interesting bit to it, and that is that now imagine that for people who've actually been doing qiyam or ibadah last night, you know what they're saying? They're saying that, you know, because, you know, today it is actually 27th of Ramzan in Saudi Arabia, so probably we got the chance with Saudi Arabia of having.
Yeah, this is Allah's mercy. So it is possible for Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to make that night in Saudi Arabia on other day and in this night. And this is Allah's will.
Obviously.
This is all Allah's will.
But Sanabhai, I did feel like, you know, as if that, you know, that the night of the 25th Roza, the weather was really nice, the wind was very breezy.
Exactly, I feel that as well.
It was very great.
Yes,
as well.
exactly.
And the next day, the entire day we had clouds, you know, so there was no sun as well. So you never know.
Yes,
but I think that the best part would be to please make sure that you do your qiyam and ibadah every single day, because there's only, 3 or 4 days left as well. But sir, in addition to this, obviously we do have the verses from Surah Qadr, you know, in Laylatul fi Qadr. So can you explain the context of this particular phrase where we say Salam wa hayya hatta matla il fajr? You know, so what is the context of this phrase?
Yeah, because this is the whole Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has mentioned Qadr. Qadr is mentioned in 3 times in this verse. That is the importance of the verses. Again, at the end, Salamun hiya hatta matla'il fajr. Salamun here means that there are different meanings. The Mufassirin has explained this in this way, that Salamun means the angels with the company of Jibreel alayhi salam, they will come down in this on the earth, and the angels who were serving at Sidratul Muntaha, that is the end of the universe.
Nobody else can actually go beyond that.
Yes. So the angel who were performing duties at that place, they are specifically coming in the company of Jibreel alayhi salam to this world, and they will be saying salam to everybody, every mu'min who is awake and doing ibadah. Plus, there are more, salam means Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala decrees only good things in this night. And then the third thing is mentioned in the hadith, that shaitan is forbidden completely to do anything. And again, one more thing, that in this night, no one will get sickness or something harm to anybody. So these are the specific. Salam means complete peace for everyone.
Exactly. But Sanabhai, thank you so much for saying that you know, that Jibreel alayhi salam is actually going to come down with the angels of Sidratul Muntaha and say peace on everyone. And salam obviously has a connotation of peace in our religion as well.
Yes.
So, you know, during the night of decree, what is the importance of this salam that we are actually talking about?
Yeah, it's like peace for everyone. So because, you know, the night is coming to end and the new day is arising. So this transition is basically telling us that every time you have another room for improvements in yourself, you have growth in yourself. You can go for a new act of kindness in the next day. So you can start your new life in this after this life. Because one hadith that is from Abu Hurairah radhiyallahu ta'ala anhu, he said that man qama laylatul qadri imanan ghufira lahu ma taqaddama min zambi. That the one who in the state of iman, who awake in this night, all his sins are removed. So now you have a new beginning.
True.
So
Wonderful.
this is, you can cultivate tranquility in your life.
True.
Beautiful. Sir, I would like to ask that all of us nowadays have very busy schedules, and all of us, not every other person can practice or can make it possible to do the prayers every night of the last Ashra. What do you suggest, that how do we
Shortcut puch.
Yeah, there is a hack.
Shortcut
Exactly,
kya?
there is a hack. There is possible. The hadith as well. It said that man qama so the one who prays in congregation the Maghrib and Isha the whole Ramadan, he will be rewarded most of the Laylatul Qadr. This is one hadith. And there is one hadith, more hadith, that says that if someone prays the Isha prayer in congregation, he is rewarded with half of the night. And the one who prays Fajr in congregation in masjid, he will be rewarded the last half of the night. So in this way, if you pray Fajr and Isha of that night, you will be rewarded, inshallah, with Allah's will, the full night of Sawab,
And
inshallah.
thank you so
Very
much for
nice
saying that. I
shortcut.
think people need to understand this. Now imagine that Allah tells us that this night is, the night of decree is better than 1,000 months.
Yes.
Now if you are to kind of calculate our entire lifespan, now let's keep it this way, that you're 12 months, 10 years, 120 months. That's it, right? Multiply it by 4, there'll be 480. Now imagine that if you have a lifespan of 80 years or 90 years, probably, you know, why not? I think these 10 nights, everybody needs to make sure that they focus and they pray to Allah Almighty. We'll come back to this again as well. Let's move on to Miss Sumaira Servat once again now. So mental well-being, social well-being, physical health being, and you know, for people to kind of look after themselves. Over here in Pakistan, we've not seen a lot of people moving on to yoga, but yes, people who move to yoga have never reverted to gyms or swimming or walks. So how do you think that yoga is the holistic way of making sure that you feel well?
First of all, Assalamu alaikum
Walaikum
all,
assalam.
and Ramzan Mubarak.
Khair Mubarak.
Thank you so much for inviting me on the show.
Thank you very much.
And coming back to your question.
No, but how does it feel when the show is actually being hosted by your daughter, mashallah?
Oh
I
my
am
God.
feeling so good, and
Mashallah.
I am recalling the days when we used to be together on such shows.
Alhamdulillah.
I did shows with
Alhamdulillah.
you, and you invited me earlier. And I am recalling. I was thinking when he was talking, I was listening and thinking that in those days she was just a school kid.
Yup.
And now, mashallah, grown up and on the show and hosting, and it's a beautiful experience.
And you know what? I think for me the experience is getting better now, because now imagine Isha calls me Shahzad sir something.
Shahzad sir, yes.
Natalia today was calling me Shahzad sir as well. And I was like, my God, you know, I really need to kind of work with people my age now, you know, but it's great. It's
Shahzad,
great
you
now.
are senior now,
No,
mashallah, but a
alhamdulillah.
wonderful person
Shukr,
to
alhamdulillah.
know. And coming back to your question, yes, people are not still acquainted to the holistic value of yoga in Pakistan. Still, this is I would say that much more has to come, and much more has to be understood. Much more has to be delivered by the yoga teachers who are doing it, or the old practitioners who are in it already. So I think that the best way to release stress, which we see in everyday life these days, the youngsters and the elders, everyone else has a deadline. The lifestyle is so fast, it is so tense, and it is so difficult to maintain
True.
the things that all of us need to, you know, just sit down, relax, and think that what we are doing, or at least spend some quality time with our own selves. So the best way is to begin today, right now, just with a simple technique to, you know, just when you are really stressed and you don't know what to do, where to go, what to think, and there are so many other deadlines around you and you have to meet those. You need to sit down in the cross-legged position, close your eyes, and just being with yourself.
Cross-leg is
Be-
this?
If you're on a chair,
Alti-palti to
enough
break.
is to sit with a straight spine.
Okay.
And as I
Everyone
always
say.
say,
So Alti-Palti is basically chokri, right?
Talking.
Yes.
Okay,
it's
so I
the
think
chokri.
I'm gonna give it a try. So I'll sit over here. Let's do Alti-Palti,
Great.
and let's try yoga today
Oh,
over here in
that's
the Ramazan
wonderful. That's
Pakistan
so good,
transmission.
yes.
Yes.
And then just think about only the good things. Whatever is just coming in your mind, let it come. Whatever thoughts
पैसा
you
नजर आ रहा है बहुत सारा.
let it come, let it come to that. That's so good. Let it come and think about many other good things. Give yourself some mental.
बच्चे डॉक्टर बन गए.
There should be some manifestation,
Alhamdulillah.
manifest, and think about the great moments and just pay your gratitude to the universe, pay your gratitude to Allah Almighty that He has just given us with a great health and He has just bestowed us with this wonderful system and beautiful body. So why not thinking about all the good things which are right there instead of thinking about the negative things? So just first cleanse your thought process, and then go along with all the things which are
The only thing I'm manifesting is याला मेरा उधार उतर जाए. गरीब की सोच ही तब्दील हो सकती है.
उतर जाएगा
Yeah,
बिल्कुल.
please, inshallah.
inshallah.
Yeah.
inshallah.
Okay, I'm manifesting again.
So,
He's manifesting
and I
again,
have
yeah.
seen people coming from different challenging situations, and they are so angry. There is a lot of contempt. There is a lot of negativity. So why not just We have a saying, and the yogic experts have a saying that to yell or to be angry, you have to press and put pressure on 72 nerves. And to smile and to laugh, you just have to work on
11.
So why not, why waste energy?
Yeah, that's
So
true.
why waste energy? So human energy is something which is very precious, and that is, may Allah give shifa to all the people who are sick or in the hospitals. But a good health is something which is no less than a blessing. these
Alhamdulillah.
days.
Wow, wonderful. I think that's great as well. I feel great. I think I feel like sleeping now. I think I can probably sleep over here as well. Wow. I've just had a yoga session. I don't know whether it's a therapy session or a yoga session, but I feel good. Sana bhai, try karna chahiye.
Great.
There is a school of, there is one school, I mean the school of spirituality.
Okay.
So this is called in terminology is Naqshbandi. You know, they have they have this intimidation as well. They do like, okay, just we are sitting here and we just
Iske liye
close
niche nahi
our,
baithna?
close. You can sit down after prayers, just like we do at the end of
Yep,
the prayer.
yep.
We can sit down like this and just think that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is watching over you with love. So this is their basic concept.
यार
But
अगर
just-
ये हो जाए तो इससे तो अच्छी को बात ही कोई नहीं.
and this is what the you know, the ruh of the that is the soul of the prayer as well. You know, as in Surah Al-Mu'minun, it starts with قَدْ أَفْلَحَ الْمُؤْمِنُونَ الَّذِينَ هُمْ فِي صَلَاتِهِمْ خَاشِعُونَ. So they said that the khushu it belongs to your heart. So when you're praying, just keep out every kind of thought from your heart and just focus on what you're saying. In the prayer, you're saying Allahu Akbar, yet just believe that Allah is He's the biggest. And the same, they said the khushu and khudu. The khudu relates to your hands, eyes. So just don't move them in your
But
your
just the
prayer.
feeling of
Just-
knowing.
Yes.
Just the feeling of knowing that Allah is smiling at you is something that, you know, is second to none probably, you know, and if you get that feeling, I think I'm probably getting that feeling as well. Shukran,
You're actually
alhamdulillah.
building a connection with divine.
Yes, obviously, and it is really essential. We do have a Naat Khan, but before we move on to Naat Khan, we actually bid favor to Sanaullah Kiani Sahab. Sana Sahab, tomorrow is actually going to be a big day because it's going to be the 27th of Ramzan. And Tartil Quran, other than, you know, giving a lot of gift hampers, you know, for our guests and for our children, we will be housing, alhamdulillah, 15 babies and children and everybody today over here. So there's a big surprise as well because our team has actually put in a lot of effort, day in, day out. May it be our producers, our makeup artists, our cameramen, you know, our, you know, audio engineers, everybody, I think, you know, our bosses. So what we've done is that Tartil Quran will actually be doing a lucky draw tomorrow where we'll be taking out, you know, an Umrah ticket, a fully funded, you know, Umrah visit to Saudi Arabia on behalf of Tartil Quran. So thank you so much for that as well. I think you have to prepare quite a lot. But thank you so much, Sana bhai,
Thank you so much,
for being
sir.
with us. It was lovely to be in conversation with you. If you want to share a little bit about the Umrah package, please go ahead. Let our viewers know as well.
This is for everyone. Inshallah, can participate as per the standard they have set already. So whosoever is going to win, he will be inshallah blessed.
Exactly.
with
So
that,
we'll be
inshallah.
here and we'll do the
Inshallah.
lucky draw tomorrow, inshallah. So let's see who
Inshallah.
the lucky winner is going to be. But Sana bhai, thank you so much for being
Thank you
with
very
us.
much, sir.
Meanwhile, before we head out towards a short break, we have a Naat Khan over here. So Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim.
कैसे समझें ये तेरी शान ज़माने वाले, कैसे समझें ये तेरी शान ज़माने खुद मिटेंगे वो तेरा नाम मिटाने वाले, क्या जरूरत है कि हम चांद का जलवा देखें। ठहरो ठहरो के हैं वो जुल्फ हटाने वाले। मताए नूर सितारों में बट गई होगी, ज़िया की डोर तीरगी से कट गई होगी। हाकिम सुबह हुई है तो है इसका ये सबब, जुल्फे आका जरा चेहरे से हट गई होगी। ठहरो ठहरो के हैं वो जुल्फ हटाने वाले। दिल में दोज़ख का कोई खौफ नहीं है, हाकिम आ गए मुझे को जहन्नुम से बचाने वाले।
Jazakallah. Thank you so much for being with us. Lovely to have you, sir, and thank you so much for the wonderful recitation of the Naat Maqbool sallallahu alaihi wasallam. On behalf of Seerat International, please, receive the Holy Book Quran, and on behalf of PTV World, thank you so much for joining us. Wonderful to have you over here. And for everybody who's out there, ladies and gentlemen, there's quite a lot which is actually coming up as well. But Sana bhai, thank you so much for being with us. Lovely to have you over here. Thank you so much, madam, for being with us. Lovely to have you over here. And for everybody, I think what we need to do is, Isha, please come here. We need to give her this amazing gift hamper on behalf of Spring Foods as well, where there's kheer. I don't know, do people who do yoga quite a lot, or are fitness freaks, do they eat a lot of kheer and everything? Really? And they eat and they burn, and I think that's great as well. And can we have, the Seerat International Holy Book as well? Thank you so much, Isha, for being so productive. Thank you so much. This one's going to go with you as well, so thank you so much. Ajay, Sana bhai, chale zara ek chote se waqfe ke baad वापस आते. For everybody who's out there, we're heading out towards a short break. Don't go anywhere. We'll be right back. Ramzan, Pakistan.
Ramzan, Pakistan, Allah ka ehsan hai. Ramzan, Pakistan.
Welcome back. Thank you so much for staying tuned to PTV World. You're watching Ramzan Pakistan Iftar transmission. For everybody who's just tuned in, ladies and gentlemen, I happen to be Shahzad Hassan Khan. With me, I'm really lucky. I've been joined by Ms. Natalia Bakar as well. Earlier, we were in conversation with His Excellency, the Finland Ambassador to Pakistan, and Mr. Sanaullah Kiani, who happens to be the Chief Executive Officer for Tartil Quran. But now we have a different set of guests over here, and the conversation is going to be really important. Number one, the conversation is going to be about our children and how they truly deserve equal rights as well, how there shouldn't be any discrepancy, how out-of-school children really need to go back to school, and what are we doing for that? Not just that, I think, Natalia, what happens is that whenever there is a dispute, how do you think that we need to resolve it?
Well, I think that we should talk on it, we should communicate, and
all right, so so I think what we're going to do is that we're actually going to ask the expert as well, because just very recently, I think it's not long time ago, that ADR centers have been constituted over here in our country, and they're making sure that alternate dispute resolutions take place as well. How is that going? Whether is it a is it a good way of making sure that the burden that we have on judiciary can actually be reduced as well or lessened? So to kind of speak about that, we're very lucky that we've been joined by Ms. Sumaira Kazmi, happens to be a lawyer. Hello, assalamu alaikum, how are you?
Walaikum assalam. Thank you so much for inviting me.
Thank you so much for joining us, and after a long time that we get to have you over here in our studios as well, so thank you so much.
Thank you. There's a lot to talk about on this topic. So
And we'll
it's
certainly
good.
speak about it as well. You know, there are a few things that, you know, just came under my notice, and I would want to kind of share my thoughts as well and ask you whether that's true or not. So a lot of myth busting, but not just that. I think if we are to speak about this lady, whenever I've had this lady on my show, or I have met her, you know, her energy is top notch. Not just that, I think that the way that she's actually served the children of this country, each and every one of us really need to be thankful because of what she actually did. She's been, you know, serving the NIRC as well, and not just that, she actually made sure that she's actually going to run the affairs out of her own pocket, and nobody does that, you know. So for such a citizen of Pakistan, she truly stands, you know, deserves a standing ovation. We're very lucky that we've been joined by Ms. Afshan Tehseen Bajwa. Assalamu alaikum, madam. Thank you so much for joining us. How are you doing today?
Walaikum assalam, and I'm very fine, and thank you very much for having me in this wonderful show, one of my most favorites.
Thank you so much.
Because of you all.
I mean, this cannot be like this. The one of my most favorite, the only favorite. That's how it's going to be.
Okay, the one and only. then.
Yeah, thank you so much for saying that. Well, let's get our conversation kick-started with Ms. Sumaira Kazmi. First of all, the constitution of alternate dispute resolution centers. And where are we on this? You know, are we doing better? Do you think that the burden on judiciary or the number of cases which are being filed and are not being heard is getting better?
We have progressed dramatically, and of course, if it's a new concept, it can't just immediately start from the top. So it has its own struggles. So we, each year, it's a good initiative. We have now proper centers in Karachi, we have in Lahore, and we have proper trainings for mediators as well, who are going to be recognized officially, and similarly for arbitration as well. So our lawyers are doing arbitration courses. So I think in coming years we are going to see a good response, and the burden of the judiciary is going to be reduced further. And the matter of the fact is that the judiciary is actually promoting in civil cases and family cases the mediation process. So this is something that is very welcoming.
And I think that it's going to be useful for us as well. And in addition to this, I think for whatever you're saying is very reassuring. But if it comes with a smile, I think it will be more reassuring as well. So thank you so much. You know, because I have been a part of, you know, while the resolution centers were actually was a new phenomenon over here in our country. What I did see myself was that, you know, that the trainers were here, and that too from abroad, you know, so they came over here to actually kind of be in conversation and, you know, kind of educate our judiciary and our lawyers and how we need to go about it. So what is that one process, and how do you think that we can reach out to the ABR centers?
The one process is that if our centers are going to not only educate the legal fraternity, but also the people who want certain dispute resolution, and to actually promote them to go towards the mediation and arbitration. And since we are in the holy month of Ramadan and I am sitting here, so through this platform I would like to urge everyone to explore first the mediation, arbitration, alternative dispute resolution mechanism, other than actually going towards the trial. So this is what my wish is, and this is what I can hope for the month of Ramadan.
जब हम अल्लाह से ये expect करते हैं कि अल्लाह हमें माफ करेगा, हमें भी तो लोगों को माफ करना चाहिए ना. I think that's something that which is really important as well. And since we have mentioned about arbitration and mediation, what is the difference in between the both?
Okay, so arbitration is, the trial is like a formal process of law where the procedures are set, the law of evidence is there, so you can't go around it. Arbitration is somewhat a less formal proceedings than the trial and the court proceedings, and the rules of evidence are a little bit relaxed, but the decision is binding. So there is one arbitrator who acts like a judge, and then both parties have their own counsels for representation. Mediation, on the other hand, is entirely different. Now in mediation, there is one mediator whose role is not to actually pass a judgment, but to listen to both of the parties and come to a resolution, and actually implore them to come to a resolution by telling them that if you move forward with this case, you're not going to have you know, positive Pakistan. So
Yeah.
it's better, it is going to be time efficient, it will save your time. So why not to actually resolve the disputes via mediation?
And so arbitration and mediation both actually falls under the umbrella of the alternate dispute resolution centers, or is it a legal proceeding that we might encounter in high court, civil courts, or Supreme Court?
Actually, arbitration and mediation, and there are two other forms as well, evaluation and the conference settlement.
Yeah.
So these are the four types of alternative dispute resolution, mediation, arbitration being the one of the famous ones and more active ones. They are either via court. Arbitration actually goes when you have an agreement and you put a clause of arbitration clause. In Pakistan, it is governed by Arbitration Act 1940.
Okay.
Mediation could be voluntary, or you can always invoke at the later stage. So it is acceptable by the judiciary. It is being promoted also now by the judiciary. Arbitration, you go towards when you have corporate and commercial cases,
Okay.
whether they are domestic or international. Mediation is more towards family,
And domestic.
civil. So where parties can actually, where the emotional, there's so much emotional trauma or rush. there. Of course, absolutely.
Well, do you think that this dispute resolution with alternative dispute resolution, the four ones you have named, they can shape us differently as a society?
Absolutely, and this is what the whole concept is, that why judiciary has now enforced this alternative dispute resolution mechanism is that we need to have a reform in the society as well, not just the legal profession, but the society as well. And this is what, as part of, as a lawyer we can do, as part of judiciary we can do, to educate people in coming towards more cost-efficient processes. So this is something that we should promote at every level.
Exactly, and I would want you to kind of hold that thought with you as well, because I'm going to come back to this,
Yes.
the cost-efficient models, and we'll speak about it, because that needs to be a bit of myth-busting. But before we speak about how to do that myth-busting, I think I really need to go to this lady who's been championing for the rights of children, may them in Pakistan or worldwide as well. So, Madam, Assalamu Alaikum. Ek baar phir se thank you so much for joining us. Where are we now? Because you've served 2 terms for the NARC as well, and you've been at the forefront of it. You've run the affairs out of your own pocket, left your home besides. Your 2 daughters were always calling you. You weren't home. So, and because you were protecting the rights of all the children in Pakistan.
Yeah.
So where are we now?
It's a very famous saying that if you really want to see the true face of any society, so you just see how they treat their children.
Dekhe ji.
So it is the holy month of Ramadan, and everybody, who is working or a professional, or maybe who is studying or doing something, when they get out of their houses and go, to do all those chores, they do see their left and right, and what we see is most miserable sight is the children around us.
True.
So there are good things, but there are lots of such things which needs too much improvement. So we have to, maybe do a long struggle to, ensure that our children in our society, in our country, have access to, health, education, protection, right to play, right to be heard, and they have a very supportive, enabling environment where they enjoy, they, are developed having their true potential, and which can be exploited, so that when they are adults, they grow up, they give it back to a society in a very positive and beautiful way.
True.
So the struggle needs to be, carried on with full energy, zeal, motivation, commitment, and leadership.
Kya baat hai. I think thank you so much, and such is the leadership that we certainly require, because I've seen her in her office as well, and the way that she was so dedicated, always making sure to, bring that difference that we need in a society. Now imagine that if we were in conversation with, the ambassador of Finland over in Pakistan to speak about the Finnish education system, imagine that their government is so concerned about how everybody is a human resource to the country and will contribute towards the prosperity of the country.
How important
Unfortunately,
education is.
yes, Natalia, and unfortunately over here in our country, I'm sorry that I have to say this, but there are 23 million children out of school.
Yes.
And what are we doing for that? Do you think that there are NGOs who are coming in place, making sure there's corporate social responsibility, that there's public institutions welcoming them?
If you look at the population and demographics of Pakistan, after Afghanistan, this is the youngest country in South Asia.
MashaAllah.
It
और
has
रहेगा, ये
almost
मैं आपको बता रहा हूँ.
you know, like 67% population consisting of children and youth. So
Yep.
almost a major size of population is, you know, having our children, a young population. So as I said, we need to make sure that all these children have access to education, access to health, and access to all the basic services. And all these 23 million children, I think we are saying this number since past 5, 6, 7 years.
True.
If you see the population, you know, growth rate 2.4% per year with the effect of doubling, maybe the number goes more if you have actually, you know, have that data available to us and see the facts and figures.
True.
So we have to make sure, first of all those legal frameworks which needs to be, you know, ensured that they are government should be pursuing all those legal frameworks in terms of the implementations, having institutions and having the budgets. As you discussed about education, we have been claiming that every 5-year action plan we will spend almost 4% of the GDP, but we never crossed, you know, 1.5% or 1.7%.
What's the reason for that?
So things are moving, as you see, from federal level, like lots of things have been done as a model schools or maybe good models to be replicated. But if you just see the periphery, I think the federal and the provinces, since they are independent after 18th amendment, we need a consolidated plan of action to make sure that particularly children in the urban areas, they have access to all the basic services and they should be, you know, having a meaningful life where their parents are, you know, active, productive economically, but they are not on the roads, they are not on the streets, they are not exploited, they are not out after school, but they are, you know, studying, educating, getting, you know, all those basic life skills and other skills so that they become productive.
Well, we have been hearing about the funding coming from the international bodies, from the UN to Pakistan for the basic education of children, because the literacy rate is going very low. So, and there are many NGOs working for the betterment of this education system. Then we have government policies, as you said, that there's always a new action plan when the government changes. So why is still such a large number of children out of schools and they're not?
You see, this is something we should be talking more frequently about. Everybody, if anybody knows about any article in Pakistan, it is Article 25A, which is right to education. And I always say, if we give nothing to children, just we give and ensure the implementation of Article 25A. If that is ensured, all those basic rights are materialized. But the story behind it is that since we are a developing country, we always are short of funding, resources, but we have to now make a decision, conscious decision, that what are our priorities. Our children are our priorities, other, you know, maybe other initiatives or maybe lots of other things we are focusing on are our priorities. But I believe that if we see all the good global models in the world, all those nations were developed because they had focused and invested and they had prioritized, you know, their children in terms of all those basic early years of their development. So if you will invest, you will harvest. So this is what I believe, that we have, if we really believe in nation building, if we really believe in educated, upright, you know, a very conscious society, we need to focus on our children in terms of all our national plans of action and adequate budgeting, you know, based on the population size and based on their needs.
Exactly. Thank you so much for saying that. And I think that it truly deserves a lot of support from all of us, you know, us members of the society, you know, whoever visit within this social fabric as well. We do know how Pakistan in the index of being philanthropic has been topping all the other countries on this globe. So I think that's one focus that we really need to have as a society member, as a national of the Pakistan, or being a Pakistani. But since we're talking about support, you know, there's always, Natalia, potential around us. And when we speak about potential, that potential really needs a platform, that potential needs some sort of support as well. Which is why I do believe that Isha over here at the gift counter actually has a lot of potential to be a great anchor, which is why I'm going to ask her to ask one question from each of our guests. You know, so yeah, so it's different. I caught you red-handed, you know, whatever you were doing. So, you know, ma'am is actually speaking about child rights. And ma'am over here is actually speaking about arbitration, mediation, and the alternate dispute resolution. So I want you to ask one question each. First from Ms. Afshan, Tehseen Bajwa.
Right, I would actually like to know that where are we going wrong as a country regarding child rights, right? So we see a lot of people out on the streets. Who's responsible for that? you know, we have a lot of departments, we have a lot of social discussions around this, but how do we make sure that these kids are protected and they're brought to education rather than being out on the streets? And it's like a generational thing of, you know, child begging going on in our country.
Wonderful.
A wonderful question. You know, if you really want to make progress, then you need to have a very strong political will in that country. The more leadership give attention and focus to, you know, any initiative, that will grow and that will be nurtured and that will be materialized. So I believe we need a strong leadership and political will in this country so that child rights are focused and prioritized. In terms of what's wrong with this, you know, you can only make positively some intervention when you have all the facts and figures and data available. Based on that, you develop your plans of actions, 5-year plans, 10 years plans. So in Pakistan, we still haven't, you know, completed our database that how many children are there in our country, how many are out, you know, working, how many are non-working. So those types of, you know, programmatic things need to be done. Solid evidence-based, you know, situation analysis, facts and figures. Yes.
I think, Isha, I want you to ask a question from Ms. Sumaira Kazmi as well. She's a lawyer.
Yes,
and
exactly.
she's talking about the alternate dispute resolution.
Exactly. Okay, so, you know, I asked a very serious question from ma'am here. So I'm going to ask a very light question from you. Is that, imagine in my house, I have a bunch of chocolates hidden and my brother goes and sneaks them all and eats all of them. So I'm very upset. I ask him to pay me back, or, you know, I don't want to talk to him anymore. So what role will my parents play? Will they play the role of mediation or arbitration? Like if he's going to pay me back, how is that going to work?
That's an innocent question. Yeah.
That's a very innocent question with an underlying meaning of, you know, a very tough dispute and situation that has come up. Okay, so in that situation, it is going to be mediation because then it would be the person who is your household, the leader of the household, is going to take responsibility, make both parties to sit down. And if they are not on talking terms and if the conversation cannot happen without them, you know, including the emotional traumas and rush, so they will separately have the conversation. Once they are ready to be sat down together, then they are going to listen to each of the grievances of the parties. Then they're going to decide who is right, who is wrong, and then try to come up with a win-win situation for both of the children.
Exactly.
So
that's how
parents
mediation
need to be
works.
good mediators.
Yes.
So listen, parents, be gentle and kind.
Exactly. But, you know, we want you to ask one more question as well, Isha, because you're doing so beautifully well.
All right.
A lengthy one. Go ahead.
A lengthy one. So, Acha, we have a lot of laws in Pakistan. How do you think we should implement them? Who's responsible for implementing them? I always think that whenever I speak about something, if it's climate change, littering, children rights, women rights, so I'm always shut down and I'm told that, you know, we have laws for these. But how are they going to be? How are we going to implement them? As lawyers, where do you think we're going wrong as a nation, or what's lacking?
Okay, to the first part, collective effort of the entire society. Each institution has to do its part. For lawyers, we can only do our part. So as a community, legal community, we have to do our part in terms of we have our ethical and moral grounds where we can advise or take on clients. And when it comes to alternative dispute resolution issues, there are certain areas where even a lawyer should also suggest that, okay, your issue can be resolved via mediation. So I would propose you to go towards the mediation other than to litigate this matter. So these are the professional responsibilities, social, moral responsibilities that we have to individually uphold in a society so that everybody follows and, you know,
all right. So not only education is important, but we need ethics embedded within our society and in our lives to, you know, prosper as a nation.
Exactly. Thank you so much, Isha. You've done wonderfully well. A big round of applause for you too as well. And very quickly, I must admit over here, you know, for Ms. Sumaira Kazmi, you know, I think that your jargon is so on point that people really need to get in touch for consultations as well. Very quickly, one last question where you actually spoke about the mediators and the role of mediators. I'm not saying that I'm very well connected, but I've had few instances where, unfortunately, I've seen that mediators might be biased, or because we do have the menace of bribery in our country. How do you think that this very matter is being looked after, and how do you think that it is sorted for people who've actually come up with complaints? कि mediator तो दूसरी तरफ झुकाव लग रहा है उसका.
That's a crucial aspect of becoming a mediator. That is one of the ethical, professional, and I would say legal as well, responsibility on a mediator, whether he's a mediator or an arbitrator. So your question pertains to mediator. In that situation, one can always go back to the court because at this time courts are enforcing mediation.
Yep.
If it's via court, but if it's voluntary, then of course they can choose another mediator.
But is there any way to get the mediator, not to do that? Is there a mechanism that we've devised so that the mediator or the arbitrator is not able to do so?
You see, around the world, these are the issues that we all face as a society, I would say. In underdeveloping countries, we see it more often. But it also prevails in the developing countries as well. It's a combined struggle that every professional or a profession has to do within itself to have strict check and balance on the mediators and on the institutions which are actually training those mediators.
Yeah, and which is why I'm going to give the example of how judiciary actually works in the GCC countries. Now imagine that if somebody was in jail and the case was pending, I don't know what the right jargon would be for that, and then there's a decision in someone's favor, what they will do is that they will have another counsel sit on that and then go through the entire case and see whether whatever justice was it given to the right person or not, and if unfortunate, then what happens is that the person is actually called back and then sentenced as well. But thank you so much for joining us. Wonderful to have you. Ms. Afshan, thank you so much.
Thank you very much.
Thank you so much for joining us. We've got a few gift hampers for you as well on behalf of Spring Foods. A lot of kheer and corn flour and soup.
You may enjoy a Ramzan
Kashmiri
that's
chai.
that's the budget for the complete packaging for the Eid. My Eid it's filled with
kheer,
sweetness.
custard,
Yes.
Kashmiri chai.
And there's a little saucer that we've given you as well, so you could probably set up some savia or whatever, samosia or whatever you feel like it. But thank you so much, ladies,
Thank you.
for being with us. Lovely to be in conversation with you. And since we were talking about child rights as well, ladies and gentlemen, I think this is going to be one of the finest segments. We're heading out towards a short break, and guess what? There will be 15 to 20 children we will be housing today. We will be in conversation with them about Ramazan. So Ramazan Pakistan after a short break. Don't go anywhere. We'll be right back. Okay, so ladies and gentlemen, as I promised, I will be housing a lot of children today as well. So, first of all, I want everybody to be in the frame. 1, 2, 3. Welcome to Pakistan! So thank you so much, Bacho, for joining us. It's wonderful to have you all over here. So, one by one, what we're going to do is that I would want you to kind of introduce yourself to all of our audiences out there who are actually watching you. So, go ahead. Let's start with you. Api, Bismillah karo. कौन है आपका क्या नाम है कहाँ से आई हो क्या करती हो
Assalamu alaikum.
Walaikum assalam.
My name is Varisha Tariq. I am from class 3A.
Varisha, wonderful. Which school are you coming from?
APS Army Public School.
Wonderful. Thank you so much for joining us. Wonderful to have you over here. Api, आपका क्या नाम है? Assalamu alaikum.
My name is Taiba.
तैयबा और तैयबा जो है उसको क्या पसंद है?
Toys.
टॉय या पकौड़े या समोसे?
समोसे.
समोसे पसंद है कीमे वाले या आलू वाले? कीमे वाले पसंद है चलो वंडरफुल ओके जी हाँ जी आपका क्या नाम है अस्सलाम वालेकुम
वालेकुम सलाम उमर शाह
उमर शाह आप क्या करते हैं हिफ्स करते हैं कौन से सुपारे पर पहुंच गए 15 पे पहुंच गए माशाल्लाह क्या बात है खुद तालियां बजाएंगे सब भाई कुरान कर रहे हैं वंडरफुल आई थिंक ओके आप ही के पास चलते हैं अस्सलाम वालेकुम आप ही आपका क्या नाम है अक्सा आप कौन सी क्लास में पढ़ती हो 2 में पढ़ती हो तो 2 में तो यार बहुत छोटी हो अभी तो फिर आप अभी आप 3 में कब जाओगी 3 में जल्दी जाओगी हैं या देर से जाओगी अच्छा बड़े होके क्या बनोगी आप डॉक्टर बनोगी डॉक्टर बन के क्या करोगी सर्जरी करोगी किसकी सर्जरी करोगी हाँ किसकी सर्जरी करोगी बताओ जरा अभी नहीं पता लेकिन जो कोई आएगा बीमार उसकी सर्जरी करोगी ऐसे ही थैंक यू सो मच आपी व्हाट अबाउट यू
My name is Raneem.
रानीम और रानीम जो है वो क्या करती है कौन सी क्लास में पढ़ती है वो भी 2 में पढ़ती है, आप दोनों दोस्त हो, सहेलियाँ हो? अच्छा माशाल्लाह। और कौन से स्कूल में पढ़ती हैं आप?
City School.
सिटी स्कूल में पढ़ती है। वंडरफुल रानी मापी, थैंक यू सो मच फॉर जॉइनिंग अस यू नो वी हियर एट आवर वंडरफुल ट्रांसमिशन। लेट्स मूव ऑन टू द अदर आपी राइट नेक्स्ट। अस्सलाम वालेकुम आपी। आपी क्या हाल है आपका? ठीक है। हाँ ठीक है। Which class do you study in?
KG.
KG. Wow, wonderful. And what do you study in school? Do you like your school? Do you like going to school?
Yes.
I never used to like my school. Do you guys everybody like your school?
Yes.
Do you guys love going to school?
Yes.
Nah, he does not love going to school. It looks like it. Let's see what's his name. Please give him the mic. Oh ji, assalamu alaikum. Bhaijan ki na hai? What's your name?
Irhan.
Irhan. So Irhan, which class are you in?
2.
2. And Irhan, what do you like the most? Do you like playing or do you like eating?
Playing.
Playing. What do you play? What do you play?
With Legos.
With Legos? So have you made your Legos as well? What did you make out of your Legos?
Whatever I can make out of them.
Whatever you can make out of them. So what do you name it? So you know whatever you have made so far, what is it? Is it a bird? Is it a house? Is it a car? What is it?
Guys.
Car. Wow, that's wonderful. And then let's give it to Api as well. Let's ask Api's name. Yes. Assalamu alaikum bete. What is your name?
Armira.
Armira. Armira, आप कौन सी क्लास में पढ़ती हो?
मैं नर्सरी थी.
हाँ?
नर्सरी थी.
ओके, नर्सरी 3 में पढ़ती हो। तो बेटे आपने तो मुंह ही मेरी तरफ कर लिया। वो अम्मी अबू जो बैठे वहाँ टीवी पे देखना चाह रहे हैं, वो कैसे इधर आओ जरा, इधर आओ, यहाँ पर बैठो। ओके। सो अरमीरा, आपको क्या पसंद है खाने में?
खाने में
हाँ, खाना क्या अच्छा लगता है? खीर अच्छी लगती है? दूसरी तरफ बेटे, मुंह उधर करना है हमने, ठीक है? मुंह उस तरफ करना है हमने। बेटे आपने मुंह उस तरफ करना है। यस। आपको अरमीरा खाने में क्या पसंद है?
खाने में
खीर खाती हो? खीर
मैं खीर खाती
खीर
हूँ.
खाती हो? और कितनी खीर खाती हो? थोड़ी सी खाती हो, ज्यादा खाती हो?
ज्यादा
खाती हो। तालियां बजाएंगे सब अरमीरा के लिए। अरमीरा खीर खाती है बड़ी अच्छी सी। ओके, वंडरफुल। और अरमीरा, और नमकीन में क्या पसंद है? समोसे पसंद है, पकौड़े पसंद है?
पकोड़े.
आलू वाले?
जी.
आलू वाले पकौड़े पसंद है आपको?
जी.
कितने? तो कम खाती हो, ज्यादा खाती हो?
ज्यादा.
माशाल्लाह, अच्छी बात है। अच्छा, अब लाओ जरा आपी से भी बात करते हैं। इस आपी से बात करें जरा। अस्सलाम वालेकुम आपी, आपका क्या नाम है? आपने उधर ही देखना है, आपने मुझे नहीं देखना, ठीक है? आपका क्या नाम है?
मिन्ना.
हाँ जी आपी, आपका क्या नाम है?
मिना.
मीना। मीना आपी, आप कौन सी क्लास में पढ़ती हो?
आज मिना मेरे पास
नर्सरी.
कम
क्या करती हो?
नर्सरी
में पढ़ती हो। आई थिंक दैट्स वंडरफुल। ओके, अब हम जरा आगे आप इसे भी करेंगे। अफजा, मेरे पास यहाँ पे उतनी स्पेस नहीं खड़ा करने के लिए, वरना मैं जरूर बच्चों को खड़ा करता और आपका फ्रेम भी बहुत अच्छा आता, वो भी आ रही है। अच्छा ठीक है, हम कोशिश कर रहे हैं। तो अब हम कौन रह गया? वहाँ से चलते जरा दोबारा से। अस्सलाम वालेकुम आपी।
वालेकुम सलाम.
आप मुझे लग रहा है पहले भी मेरे प्रोग्राम पे आए हो, है ना? No? अच्छा, tell me, what do you do? What do you like eating? And tell us something about Ramzan.
Ramzan is the 9th month of Islamic calendar.
Okay, that's wonderful. And what do we do in Ramazan?
We have to help other and do not.
It's okay. And we have to help others and make sure that we look after our parents, that we look
Yes.
after our neighbors, that we look after everyone else. Okay, now let's move on to the other Api over here. Yes, Api, assalamu alaikum. What's your good name?
Fabiha.
Fabiha, what do you like doing? You like coloring? You like going out?
Yes.
Where do you want to go? To a park? To swings? Do you like playing sports? What do you like?
I like to play sports.
What sports do you like to play?
Football.
Football? Well, that's wonderful. Everybody clap because she likes to play. That's wonderful. Let's move on to other Api over here. Yes, Ji Api, assalamu alaikum. What do you do?
I play in my house with my dollhouse.
You play in your dollhouse. Well, that's wonderful. What do you play in your dollhouse?
I play with my dolls, like games and all that.
Really? Well, that's wonderful. Taaliyan, everybody. Please clapping must go on. We are supporting everyone. Api ki bari aa gayi ji. Api, assalamu alaikum. What's your good name?
Walaikum assalam. My name is Hania.
Okay, Hania, how many brothers and sisters are you?
I have one sister.
One sister. Is she younger or is she older?
Older.
Older. So do you guys fight?
Sometimes.
Sometimes. What do you guys fight about?
A few things.
A few things. What are those few things? Do you steal her clothes or do you take her toys away? Do you? Yeah, I think that's good. So wonderful.
Okay, so that we also have this one child with me, and she
Yeah.
also wants to tell us about her favorite color. What is your favorite color, Minna?
Black.
Black.
Yeah.
And what will you wear on Eid?
Rainbow colors.
Rainbow colors.
Yeah, she's going to wear rainbow colors as well. Now
She's
we've
going to
got
wear
other-
rainbow colors.
Yeah, so now we have to introduce every child. Okay, Assalamu alaikum, Api.
Walaikum assalam.
Api, how are you?
Fine.
Api, what's your good name?
Alina.
Alina. And what does Alina do? What does Alina love to do?
Coloring.
Coloring. And what do you color the most? Do you love cartoons? What cartoons do you love?
I like
Huh?
coloring.
आपको कौन से cartoons पसंद है?
And I like cartoon.
Okay, okay. So Alina is with us as well. But now let's move. Oh, ये क्या कर रहा है? मुंह में हाथ मार रहा है. Okay, अच्छा. अस्सलाम वालेकुम.
Walaikum salam.
क्या नाम है आपका?
Mustafa.
Mustafa. Okay, Mustafa. What do you do? Do you study?
Yes.
Which school do you go to?
Big blue.
Huh?
Big blue.
Which one is it? Air Bloom? What?
Playgroup.
Playgroup. Okay, so he's studying in playgroup. So Mustafa, do you know Pehla Kalma? Ata La ilaha illallah Muhammadur Rasulullah. Sunao zara.
La ilaha illallah
Muhammadur
Muhammadar
Rasulullah.
Rasulullah.
Sallallahu alayhi wa sallam. हाँ जी आपी अस्सलाम वालेकुम. आपी क्या हाल है आपका?
Fine.
आप ठीक हो? आपी मुझे ये बताओ, what do you like eating the most?
Chicken.
Chicken? Chicken biryani? Chicken कढ़ाई? Chicken korma? Chicken paratha? Wow, tali honi chahiye everybody. She likes chicken. Okay, now we're going to come to Api. So Api, assalamu alaikum. What is your good name?
My name is Harim Fatma.
आज आपने सामने ही देख के बात करी, ठीक है? Your name is Harim Fatma. So Harim Fatma, which class do you study? 3. And what have you prepared for us today? Have you prepared something for us today? Yes, what have you prepared? Please tell us. Have you prepared a naat? Have you prepared, are you going to share some?
Tilawat.
Tilawat, okay, let's do tilawat everybody.
mashallah.
Bismillahir Rahmanir Rahim.
أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم والضحى والليل إذا سجى ما ودعك ربك وما قلى وللآخرة خير لك من الأولى ولسوف يؤتيك ربك فترضى ألم يجدك يتيما فآوى ووجدك ضالا فهدى ووجدك عائلا فأغنى فأما اليتيم فلا تقهر وأما السائل فلا تنهر وأما بنعمة ربك فحدث صدق الله العظيم.
Mashallah, Jazakallah. Everybody say
Jazakallah.
Jazakallah. No clapping.
No clapping, no
We
clapping.
don't clap when we recite. Okay, we say Jazakallah, Shukr, Alhamdulillah. Thank you so much. Okay, and we have a small baby boy over here as well. Assalamu alaikum.
Alaikum.
क्या नाम है आपका?
Sharim.
है शाज़ेब.
Sarim.
Sharim.
सारे. सारे. Okay, that's wonderful. सारिम कैसे हो आप? ठीक हो? Are you good? What?
Yeah.
सारिम इधर आओ जरा मेरे पास आओ. Come over here. You have to stand up. You have to stand up. Come sit over here. I hope that their parents actually allow me to kind of, have him over here. So Sarim, what do you like eating? Do you like pakoda?
No.
Oh, okay, you don't like pakoda. Do you like jalebi?
Yeah.
Yeah, you like jalebi. Do you like kheer?
No.
No. Okay. Do you like rasmalai?
No.
Do you like shahi tukde? Do you like your parents?
Yeah.
Yes.
Everybody
Victory for parents. Mashallah.
Great job as well. But you know that it's the holy month of Ramadan. Do you know that?
Yeah.
And we have to seek forgiveness from Allah Almighty. Us, I mean, obviously not you guys. You guys are already angels as well. Do you pray to Allah?
No.
No? Okay, you need to pray to Allah, okay? So let's pray to Allah first of all. Everybody, we're going to pray to Allah. Come on, everybody, hands up. Because we're going to pray to Allah. No, not this up. Dua mangne lage, hum dua mangne lage, okay? Auzubillahi minash shaitanir rajim. Bismillahir rahmanir rahim. Allah, Parvardigar, please make sure that, for all of those things that we need in our country, for the resources that we have, that we are able to utilize, that all of these amazing babies and children grow up to be productive citizens of our country, and that we give back to the community so that there's no one from that destitute segment where they actually have to worry about education, about food, and please make sure that all of us have a healthy and wealthy life. Everybody say Ameen. Ameen. Wow, maza aa gaya bhai. Okay, so now we've got a few questions for a few babies as well. And first of all, where is Iman? Iman is there. So Iman, I have a question for you. When was Quran revealed?
Quran was revealed on 27th of Ramadan.
On 27th of Ramadan, and which is going to be tonight as well, the Laylatul Qadr, the Shab-e Qadr. Thank you so much, everybody. Clap for her. Wonderful. Okay. Okay, so where is Minha? Where is Minha? Okay, Minha is there. Minha ko mic denge hum. So Minha, you have to look that way first. Okay? Yes, look that way. And then my question is, in which month do we fast?
Ramzan.
Ramzan, everybody, a big round of applause. Wonderful, that's the right answer. Okay, where is Fabiha? Fabiha, where is Fabiha? Yeah, Fabiha is there. Fabiha will come back to you. Okay, so I got to know that all of you actually know a Naat as well. All of you have prepared a Naat for us?
Yes.
Yes, okay. That's something that we will do towards the end. Or probably we can do it right now. So let's do the Naat first. Okay, everybody, let's do the Naat. Okay, you guys have to stand? Okay, let's stand.
Okay.
Everybody standing now. Yes, okay. Yeah, so we have to face the camera. Everybody, we have to face the camera, please. Yes. Okay. So, okay, let me manage their positions first. Please come here. You come over here as well, alhamdulillah. And with the mic, you come in the center. Okay, you come in the center. Yes, okay. Chalo ji. Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Everybody is going to recite the Naat together. Chalo. Api shuru karte hain. Fabiha. Fabiha, please पढ़ो बेटे. अच्छा माइक ईमान के पास अमाना भी. Okay, sorry. Okay, Fabiha भी अल्लाहु अल्लाह बोली है ना. चलो. बिस्मिल्लाह.
Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Asubahu bada min talatihi wallaylu jamin wafaratihi.
Sadaqallahu al-Azim. Jazakallah. Thank you so much. तालियां होनी चाहिए सबसे पहले आप ही के लिए. And now, okay, so that one Naat that we prepared, oh Allah the Almighty, do we know?
Yes.
Okay, so we all know it, right? You know, so somebody, okay, you hold the mic, come over here, yes, and everybody, you come back, yes, let's do it together, okay? So Bismillahirrahmanirrahim, let's do it together, let's recite it together. Yes, let's do it.
Allah the Almighty,
Allahu Allah,
protect me and guide me.
Allahu Allah.
Love and mercy, Allahu Allah.
Yeah, I think that's wonderful. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. That's great. Now we actually have a lot of gifts for you, but towards the end we'll actually ask you to recite a Naat for us. But let them first of all, get their gifts. So where are the gifts? So we have a lot of gift vouchers for all of you on behalf of Cheesiest. So all of you can actually order pizza. All of you can. Oh wow! Okay, a little bit of dance. That's fine.
She's already.
I think I like this excitement as well. So we're going to give you vouchers on behalf of Cheesiest. You guys can go back home, have sandwiches, have pizzas, whatever you want, pasta and whatever you want. Okay, so we have another guest over here, which I would want to kind of have. In fact, not guests. I think they really need our appreciation. Because the Zakat Foundation, United States of America, is actually giving away Iftar for 120 people. So they're over here, the ones who are actually doing it. So Assalamu alaikum. So everybody please give them a big round of applause. I think it's over here on the jersey. It's the Zakat Foundation. And they are helping all of those amazing people who are out here, unfortunately cannot afford to do their Iftars or Sahur. And it's the Zakat Foundation USA who's actually doing that. So thank you so much. बहुत बहुत शुक्रिया आपका कि आप हमारे लोगों के साथ मिलकर जो है वो इफ्तार करा रहे हैं इतने सारे लोगों का. Thank you so much for being with us. Lovely to have you over here. हाँ भी बच्चों मजा आया? जोर से आवाज आनी चाहिए. हाँ भी बच्चों मजा आ रहा है? It's your time for the Naat. Please go to your position so that we can do. हाँ? Tilawat करोगे? Okay, हम tilawat करेंगे. But for everybody who's out there, ladies and gentlemen, stay tuned to PTV World. Inshallah, tomorrow we're going to come on here. It's going to be a big day on the 27th of Ramadan. There will be a lucky draw which will be taking place, for Umrah. Thank you so much, City School, and thank you so much to all of those parents who've been sending their children over here. They're amazing children. Everybody clap for yourselves, yes! And for everybody who's out there with this last salawat or the verses from Holy Quran. Bismillahirrahmanirrahim.
أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم يا أيها الذين آمنوا لا تكونوا كالذين آذوا موسى فبرأه الله مما قالوا وكان عند الله وجيها يا أيها الذين آمنوا اتقوا الله وقولوا قولا سديدا يصلح لكم أعمالكم ويغفر لكم ذنوبكم ومن يطع الله ورسوله فقد فاز فوزا عظيما إنا عرضنا الأمانة على السماوات والأرض والجبال فأبين أن يحملنها وأشفقن منها وحملها الإنسان إنه كان ظلوما جهولا ليعذب الله المنافقين والمنافقات والمشركات ويتوب الله على المؤمنين والمؤمنات وكان الله غفورا رحيما صدق الله العظيم.
Thank you so much for the wonderful recitation of the Holy Quran as well. For everybody who's out there, please make sure that you write to us at Ramzan Pakistan at ptv.com.pk. Everybody, we have to say it again. So I'm going to say 1, 2, 3 and you guys will say Ramzan Pakistan, okay? And then we make a train and go out, okay? So 1, 2, 3. Ramzan Pakistan! Let's go. The train, come on, after me.
Ramzan Pakistan.